What's up with the squad? Back with another video. Before we get in this video, make sure y'all DM me on Instagram, LifeWithRecklezz, or email me, LifeWithRecklezz@yahoo.com. Y'all see the title. Definitely had to react to this video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get in the video, y'all.
If you want to know, and I'm being completely sincere, what's true, the true things are the things that you can't say. I cannot remember the last time someone in public life was prosecuted or even criticized for lying. If lying was a crime, I mean, your governor would be in Supermax for life. If being incompetent was a felony, she'd be on death row. Banning paint sales during COVID? It's unbelievable. But there's no penalty for lying and there's no penalty for incompetence. So what do we penalize? Every society penalizes something. There's a death penalty offense in every society from the beginning of time. What's ours? It's telling the truth. If you tell the truth, the real truth, the no BS truth, like what's actually going on here? Is this actually working? And no, it's not. Why isn't it working? If you were to be honest about that, you're done. So you have to ask yourself, like, what does it say about a society where the only penalty is for noting what's true?
Tucker Carlson is absolutely
Tucker be spitting the facts, though.
unstoppable, and he just dropped some truth bombs that are going to inspire you like never before. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. If you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, if you would be so kind, please share this video with friends and family. We're once again being suppressed by big tech, so I need your help to get the hopeful message of this channel out to as many people as possible. Tucker Carlson is once again lighting up the internet. He recently appeared in Utica, Michigan, speaking before a gathering of the Brighter Michigan Political Action Committee, and the truth bombs he dropped were astonishing. In fact, that was precisely the theme of the talk. Truth is now our primary weapon in a system that operates totally and completely by lies.
I'll stop with this. I think the only answer is to tell the truth calmly and slowly and fearlessly. Everybody knows what it is. They'll come at you. First, they'll tell you you're hurting someone's feelings, you're mean. That's always the first. Then they're trying to appeal to your basic decency and then subvert it. No one wants to be mean. They did this during COVID. Well, you should take the shot. Well, what's in the shot? Shut up and take it. But I don't need the shot. I already had COVID. You know, I'm 26. I just ran a Ironman. Shut up and take the shot. Well, what if I don't want to? You're killing your grandparents. Okay.
And I know a lot of people that actually had to take it. I'm sure it's plenty that's down in the comments. You had to take it for work. I know a lot of people was forced to get the shot for work.
Because that's the first thing they do. They accuse you of being mean. Then the second thing they do is they call you insane. You're a conspiracy theorist. Really? If I were the sort of person who gloated, I would keep a list of all the times I personally have been called a conspiracy theorist or a wacko, and then compare them to the outcome 5 years later. They all turned out to be true. And I try to be a decent Protestant, not brag about myself, but like, the list is long. Very long. And then the third thing they do is just criminalize telling the truth. And you're seeing that now. There are people who are going to jail for non-trivial lengths. By the way, anyone who's ever been to a jail knows, and there are a bunch of sheriffs here, and they know best of all, any time in jail is not trivial. Any time behind bars. A drunk driving offense for a night can change your life. You don't want to go to jail. Period. It's not a joke. And anyone who tells you, oh, he's going to Club Fed where they have volleyball, right. Taking away a person's freedom and locking him in a cage where he can't see the stars at night is short of killing him, maybe more than killing him, the gravest thing you can do to another human being. So no one should ever minimize the penalty of prison time or jail time. It's profound. It'll destroy you and your family. And they're sending people to prison for saying that the last election was rigged, which it was.
All right, so there's
That's
a lot
crazy.
there that I think is absolutely spot on that we can unpack. What's happening here, what Tucker Carlson is calling attention to, is actually something akin to what Soviet scholars called hyper-normalization. All right, it's a fancy term derived from studies of Russian citizens' dispositions and inclinations towards the end of the Soviet experiment. So what scholars found was that by the 70s and 80s, as the Soviet Union was beginning to wane, the vast majority of Russians knew that their system was totally corrupt and intellectually bankrupt. They knew it. They knew they were being lied to by their leaders, and they knew that their leaders knew that they were lying. But, and this is absolutely key, but even though everyone knew everyone was lying, the public nevertheless pretended to accept those lies. In other words, the lies basically became the social capital of society to such an extent that citizens had no other possible conception of society other than the lies. They knew everything was a lie, but they continued to accept the system because their cognized conception of reality could conceive of no other possible reality other than a system of lies. They remained in the system precisely because they found it impossible to imagine an alternative system. It's like a failed marriage that nevertheless persists because the couple has no idea how to end it. This is what scholars call hyper-normalization. It's a fraud that has in effect been normalized. Everyone knows that the powers that be are a corrupt fraud, but they put up with it anyway because they simply can't imagine an alternative. And it is precisely that kind of society that Tucker's calling all of us to resist, and we resist it by courageously speaking the truth. Again,
exactly. And it's really hard doing it. Like, I'm not even gonna cap. Like, it's hard doing that, especially like on social media. Like, it's hard to like get out the truth. It's hard, you know, you have to watch what you say, especially when you're doing, you know, when you're actually, this is something that you do, income wise, stuff that you do, like, so, and a lot of people work extremely hard. And this, I feel like reacting to this type of content, or like even talking about this type of content, stuff like that, it's hard. It's hard for a lot of creators. It's hard for anybody that gets on here and literally, you don't even have to be a big creator. Just talking about my cousin, Retro Stuff, make sure y'all go subscribe to him. He does a lot of these type videos, and he gets hushed, you know, and it's extremely hard getting out the truth, and it's sad, you know, because I feel like this is a platform that you will want to have. You have news stations for a reason. Those news stations, they obviously they can put out lies, they can put out this, they can put out that, but then you have these independent people that's actually doing research and putting it out on the platform. I feel like you should have that freedom to do so.
Have to get here is that all of these lies and intimidation tactics seek to do is deliberately fabricate a society where people comply precisely because they've lost any sense of an alternative to that compliance. I'll say that again. These cultural Marxists, like the Soviet Marxists of old, these woke Marxists, are deliberately attempting to fabricate a society where people comply precisely because they've lost any sense of an alternative to that compliance. The purveyors of wokeness and their twisted morality demand a hyper-normative world where wokeness is the only alternative. There's no basis for legitimate dissent. And so what Tucker is saying here is that the ultimate expression of dissent today in a world built on lies is courageously speaking the truth. Hey gang, as you can see, patriots across the nation are rising up, just like the amazing patriots who are dear friends to this channel, and that's the makers of
Skip
Old
this a little bit, y'all, so we can get back to Tucker.
How can you say the last election was rigged? Well, when the country's largest law enforcement organization, the FBI, actively works on behalf of one political party, and when its largest intelligence gathering agency, the CIA, does the same, it's a little bit like what's happening in Michigan. When federal employees paid for by the tax dollars of everyone take an aggressive position on the side of one political party, you can't have a fair election. because you're using public money to put your thumb on the scale on behalf of a partisan cause. It is totally immoral. And it's not free and fair. If our election took place in Bolivia, the 2020 presidential election took place in Bolivia, I can promise you the State Department would report back and say that was not a free and fair election. And Wikipedia would report it was a clouded election because there was fraud and interference, which there was. If some oligarch, some tech oligarch, spent nearly $500 million to control the mechanics of the Bolivian election in 2020, we would say it's not a legitimate election. But when Mark Zuckerberg does it in the United States, he's just helping with COVID. Yeah, he's really afraid of COVID, I'm sure. Yeah. So for saying that out loud, people are going to prison. And of course, the whole point is to convince you not to say it out loud. So don't let them. That's the only point. Don't let them. And if you keep telling the truth, some of you probably get indicted by Dana Nessel.
Wow.
Woo-woo. Well, you're going to women's prison, a little better. But still prison. But it's worth it. Anyway, don't be intimidated. Your children's future depends on your bravery.
Come on.
The great Soviet dissident Alexander Solzhenitsyn.
I definitely mess with him with saying that. That's lit. That's definitely lit. Cause it's true. I say it in a lot of videos. The reason on why I'm doing a lot of research, a lot of people ask me like, Recklezz, well, why are you doing politics? You need to get back to music. You need to get back to this. I got a music channel now. Going to be posting music on there. But at the same time, I feel like this is something I enjoy. It gives me a lot of information about stuff that's going around, in the world, especially in the United States. And now this is the first year. It took me a little while, like in the middle of the year, to get into politics and to get into different things. This sort of content, I enjoy it a lot. Because it gives me so much information. A lot of stuff, the history, I didn't even know. And it's important for me to know these things for my children. We have 2 children now. So we have 2 girls. Honestly, it's when I tell you, I know it's some men out there that has, all girls, but it can get tough. It definitely can get tough. But it's okay. It's a beautiful thing. It's definitely a beautiful thing to have, my girl and 2 girls. It's definitely lit. It's definitely lit. Thinking about it and just, living the life that we live and just staying out the way. We rarely go anywhere anymore because there's so much going on. The type of content that I do, like we rarely even do anything. But enjoy ourselves. Enjoy, it's going. It's definitely going. And I definitely enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. But I feel like that's something that's definitely important. I feel like that's something that's definitely important to do is, to think of the future of your children. I feel like that's the most important thing. Even if they don't, go in that direction. My dad, he's a Democrat. My dad's a Democrat. I'm a conservative. My dad has a lot of different views. And soon he'll see. But he has a lot of different views. And it's okay. I'm not a person that's going to sit there and tell him that, he's wrong, or he is more so of getting those views out there and what I think, in my opinion, on things. I feel like a lot of people want to argue and want to yell and want to do this and want to do that rather than just talk. And I feel like that's something that's more, important than anything. Is to just do that. But we're going to get the rest of this video of me talking.
The simple step of a courageous individual is not to take part in the lie. One word of truth outweighs the world. One word of truth outweighs the world. Simply put, speaking the truth is our greatest weapon. In a world built on lies, speaking the truth is the single most devastating weapon to bring down such a world. And so Tucker is actually drawing from a very time-tested principle here. Truth is what ultimately brought down the Berlin Wall, the Soviet Union. truth in the hands of the likes of Alexander Solzhenitsyn and the Czechoslovakian dissidents Václav Havel, Václav Benda, and their efforts at building a parallel economy in the 1970s and 80s in the midst of the Soviet-dominated Eastern Europe. All of this is what ultimately brought down a Soviet system built on lies. This is what Tucker's calling all of us to commit ourselves to. In a world built on lies, our greatest weapon is the truth.
Y'all heard it. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know y'all thoughts on the whole, Tucker Carlson. I feel like he's spitting a lot of facts, getting the truth out there. I feel like that's most important to do. A lot of people are trying to get silenced. I'm not going to say, well, it's some people that's getting silenced, but it's a lot of people that's trying to get silenced. And it's sad. It's definitely sad, especially on these type of platforms. But, it's okay. As long as we keep on getting it out to the right people. A lot of people, already know, but there's some people that's iffy, some people that's not even knowing and believing still and believing the lies and stuff like that. So it's definitely important, and that's one thing that I strive to do is to get, information out, get information out and to actually get in people's heads of what is really going on, because you're getting brainwashed by the system. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe. Definitely appreciate y'all tuning in, watching this reaction. Make sure y'all DM me on Instagram, LifeWithRecklezz, or email me, LifeWithRecklezz@yahoo.com. Much love to everybody. Catch y'all next one.